Welcome, everyone. A show about, for, and with everything that's Indio, California. And now, without further ado, your host for In Indio, Rick Wise.
Thank you, Gary. The theme of our show this month is the budget and HOA fees and audits on the budget. Because our HOA fees have gone up, we've got to try to save some money at our household. So we're not going to scrimp. We're actually going to buy wine by the case. This is an Alexander Valley 2018 cab, and it's from Kirkland. You can get this bottle for about $10. So we don't have to stop drinking wine. We just need to scale down the price on the wine we do use. So Alexander Valley, this was recommended by Ken and Tony Hewitt, and they buy cases of this, and it's from the Sonoma County. It's great wine for the price.
What's going on?
Hey,
Hey,
Shirley.
good morning.
Good morning.
How are
Happy
you?
December.
Yeah, how was your Thanksgiving?
Oh, it was great.
Yeah.
And your Hanukkah.
Oh, right, Hannah. Oh, God,
It's
so early. I know. Oh, my God, it was driving me crazy. It was nice having Thanksgiving dinner and celebrating Hanukkah at the same
At the
time.
same time. You light a candle, eat a turkey.
Right, exactly. I have pictures with kids with a drumstick in their mouth and potato latkes on the other side. It was funny.
What's going on?
Well, let's see, December it's Christmas, and then we have New Year's Eve. Well, the golf cart parade is supposed to be December the 18th. I hope it goes.
Oh, I heard today they do have enough.
They do have enough.
They do have enough now, so there will be a golf cart parade. I'm not sure what the route is. There's so many new streets now and everything.
Oh, okay. I know they mentioned a couple of pit stops along the way.
Yeah. The pit stops are not to go to the bathroom, they're to drink.
Right, bring your bottle of wine with you.
Yeah.
Right, where is the bottle of wine here?
Oh, I haven't opened it yet. Sorry.
Oh, okay. All right,
Yeah.
guys. And so we have that going on. Then we have the holiday show, Motown, on the 19th.
The 19th. Do you have to pre-register for
Yes,
that?
you do.
Okay.
It's supposed to be a potluck, but I think people are going to do individual tables. I don't know, potluck. I'm
So
not,
it'll be more like Bamba. When we do the happy hour, everybody brings their own little thing.
I think they're asking for potluck, but I'm not big on potluck. Are you big on potluck?
No, not now, no.
No, not now. No, I know. So I don't know, but Motown was good. Motown's a great band.
Good.
They were here before, so that's really good to go. So sign up. It's free, so do it. And the Performing Club, the Performing Arts Club,
Right.
which of course my love, I wonder why,
Right.
is putting on the Gong Show. And we want you all to sign up. It's fun.
You need no talent whatsoever.
You need no talent whatsoever.
If you remember the Gong Show, it's kind of like America's Got Talent, where somebody would sing or tell a joke or dance, whatever your talent
It's like
is.
the unknown comic, the guy with the paper bag over his
right.
head,
And so you'd start, and then I don't know if they had a celebrity judge or something. They
No.
take this big old hammer or something and
I'm
gong.
It's a fun show. Chuck Barris, that really was a fun show.
It was a fun show.
It is.
It should be
It's-
fun.
Yeah, it should be fun, but we need you guys, to come out and sign up.
How do they sign up, Shirley?
Well, they'll sign up by going to the lodge and pick up a flyer,
Okay.
and it'll give you all the info that you need.
The Gong Show coming up.
It's the
that's not
Gong
till
Show,
March? April?
February.
February. Oh, so
Yeah,
get to
February
the-
26th.
You need to get to the clubhouse right now and sign
Yeah,
up.
you
for the
got
Gong
you got to
Show.
sign up because the end date is mid-January to sign up, and we can't put it on and have this type of fun unless you guys participate. Like with everything else, you have to be part of it. To have the fun that we need around here.
Isn't there a cookie exchange or a candy exchange?
Yeah, there is. When is that? That's sometime
coming
in 8th, right? Oh, this week,
This week.
December 8th
Oh,
at 2:30.
So run to Winco, buy your cookies, and bring them to the cookie
You know,
exchange.
you're supposed to bake it yourself.
You're supposed to bake them yourself.
Yeah, which I don't do. I burn.
don't do
I
either.
burn. I'm not a baker. I'm a cook.
It's hard to bake.
It is. It's too precise. You know, everything has to be exactly the
Right,
same. I burn cookies. I burn even ready-made cookies. That's what a great baker I am. And that's really, you know, that's basically what's going on. You know, everybody's getting ready for the holidays. And
Weren't you and Mickey volunteers at the pro pickleball tournament?
oh, yes, 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 yes,
Was that
yes.
fun?
Well, yes, it's on now. The National Pickleball at Indian Wells, where they have the tennis tournaments.
Okay.
They do an amazing job. They convert some of the tennis courts into pickleball courts.
Okay.
And you have people all over the country, and you meet people from various parts of the country, and it's a lot of fun. It really is. But
Great.
you know, I love pickleball. And speaking of which, come join here at 7:30 in the morning or 8 o'clock every single day. And we also have a women's group Wednesday and Thursday nights at 6 o'clock
For pickleball.
for pickleball.
And you know, the tennis tournament that just got over,
Yeah.
it's coming up again in the
In
spring.
March.
In March. And
Right.
they look for volunteers, and you get to, you volunteer and you do things. I think one of our neighbors,
Yes.
Julie, was a driver, so she got to drive a lot of the tennis players around to hotels. And,
Yeah. You get to meet really.
And you get to watch
Famous
some of
people.
the matches. So,
You do. They give you a lot of perks when you
keep an eye
volunteer.
out for that volunteer opportunity.
Yeah,
That's
Indian Wells is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. It's a beautiful area.
great.
Yeah. So what else is up with you?
Oh, nothing. This is a very busy month. I think a lot of people, you know, have family coming in.
Yeah.
And then there's the Christmas and New Year's holidays and just a lot of stuff happening. So be safe.
I know. Definitely be safe. Listen, did you hear about any rumors going around?
No? Do you?
Yeah.
What do you hear?
I have a couple.
Well, let's hear some of them.
Well, let's see. Some of the rumors are.
Maybe I know the answers to them.
Well, maybe. Did you hear? You're going to laugh at this. That they want to hire a handyman for 8 hours a month. What do? 10 minutes a day?
They've actually, we do have an agreement for a handyman 8 hours a month. And
No.
we do. And I know that because Kenny of Kenny and Furman spoke at one of the HOA meetings and reported that the lights in the, what do they call it, the pool room table,
You right?
have been out for months.
Okay.
And he got a letter from Chanel saying that will be put on the list of items for 8 hours a month handyman when he comes.
Is that the most ridiculous thing you ever heard?
Well,
8 hours a month for this place?
yeah.
What is that supposed to do? I mean, how many people does it take to put in a light bulb? Let's not go
And my
there.
question is, why do we have to wait for the handyman to change the light bulb?
Handyman, well, he's not due until next week at.
They could show me where the light bulbs were, and I would change the light bulbs for
I mean,
them, but-
seriously. Well, you're not allowed to go on a ladder at the lodge. It's their catchphrase, liability.
Okay, I'm a high liability person. So, yeah. Anything else you hear?
Well, I also heard they want to hire 2 more people. One is a replacement for Bianca, who left.
Right, and the other one they've actually hired, and that's the replacement for Chanel. Remember
Oh.
when Chanel got promoted?
Yeah.
And I forgot his name. I'm sorry. If
Oh,
you're
it's
watching
Robert.
It's Robert?
What?
Okay, Robert. Welcome to Four Seasons. But yes, so he's one of them, and the other one is the replacement for Bianca.
Okay.
See, I do know stuff.
You do. You answered some of the rumors. I don't understand. Okay, so Robert is going to do what Chanel does.
What Chanel did.
Did.
Operations
Oh, did.
manager, I think they're called.
Oh, okay. All right, so now we have, God, how many people up there that we're paying for? I wonder if that's the reason why they raised our dues, $30 a month.
Well, I don't know. We'll have to. This is about, later on in the show, we're going to talk about the budget.
Isn't that a good segue?
Yeah, nice segue. Stay tuned, because we are going to talk about the budget and audits of the budget, various things about the budget. So stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned for that one. And
Yeah.
also, the election has been
Postponed. And I think,
postponed. And when do you file the papers if you want to run for the board?
yeah, if you ought to run for the board, we should be getting an email blast from Chanel in mid-December or mid-January, sometime in there, about if you want to run for the board, you can sign
Right,
up.
because we
and-
could take over and make these wonderful decisions.
Yes, we should be getting the majority of the board of directors
Yeah.
as residents.
Right, right.
So the builder will only have one seat on the board, so, and we'll have
Yeah.
the rest, whether
Yeah.
that's 7 or 5, who knows?
I don't know. We have so many questions here. You know, we have to get some of these board members on the show. What do you think?
Right. But any board member, and that's what, Mel?
Right, they're all
Nancy, and
invited to
Wayne,
come here.
You're all invited to come on. Just let us know when you want to come on. We'll make a special show just for you.
We would, because honestly, there's no transparency going on. So I think I'm speaking for the rest of the homeowners here, we have no clue what's going on.
Right.
All I know is they raised us, our deficit is still the same. I have so many questions.
Right. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Lots of questions.
Lots of questions. Need answers.
Okay, Shirley, so we have a guest coming, so we got to
Yes, we
stop
do.
talking now.
Yes.
So
Oh, I like a little coffee clutch.
I know, it's great. Isn't it?
It really is.
Okay,
All right, so let's bring on our guest.
let's bring our guest on. So Shirley, I went to the board meeting last time, and we were sitting in the audience, and
Right.
George Slezak handed out this piece of paper to everybody in the audience. Then he got up and read it, and we are just lucky enough to have George with us today. George, welcome to Indio.
Great to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
How long
yeah.
have you lived here?
We moved in April 1st. We bought
This year?
Closed April 1st this year, yes.
Okay, and you live on Adria, according to your.
On Adria, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we moved from Florida. We were in Estero, Florida, near Naples.
Oh, okay.
And we,
I was from right outside of Orlando.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. I know the
Really?
area.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were just always New York.
Well, most of my life, for sure.
Okay.
I'm from Chicago, and we retired 19 years ago to Florida. And then
Okay.
from Florida, we moved here because our granddaughter's in Orange County. And
Of course.
We have
It's-
quite a
Of
few-
course.
Isn't Cindy and Steve?
Yes,
Otis
they're from Chicago
they're
also.
From Chicago, right?
Yeah. We all move here for grandkids.
that's it. What are you going to do?
I
I
mean-
mean, we couldn't see her often enough.
I know.
And
I
now
know.
we see her once a month or twice a month, and it's just great.
Yeah.
Well, the theme this month of our show is the budget and the HOA increase and everything to do with the budget and financials of
Right.
Four
right.
Seasons at Terra
Because
Loma.
I'm pretty sure we all have questions about that.
Right, yeah. There were a lot of questions, a lot of on social media, a lot of comments
Right.
and everything.
Right.
But George, why don't you read this thing that you read to us? You don't have to read it all, I don't think, but the failure to audit part.
Okay, well again, this is the page that I read and handed it out to everybody. And what I tried to explain is that the treasurer's duty, according to our bylaws, is to cause an annual audit of the association books. Okay, and this is section 8.8.
Okay.
Duties of the officers, okay?
Okay.
And section D is the treasurer, and included in that is the treasurer's duty is to keep proper books of account and cause an annual audit of the association books to be made by a certified public accountant.
Okay, that's a CPA.
If you go further, it actually says, as provided in the declarants.
The declaration, you mean?
At the completion of each year as provided for in the declaration, yes. Now, that's
okay.
that's the completion of the fiscal year provided for in the
Right,
declaration.
okay.
It's unfortunate that we can't have Wayne here, who's part of the board, to.
Right, he couldn't make it today, but
He-
now,
Okay, you know, I mean, again, that's all that the bylaws say.
okay, so
Wait a
what
minute.
caused you to get all excited and everything
Yeah.
about this?
Well, okay, I've been going to each board meeting since we moved in, and at each board meeting, Wayne reviews the monthly financial statements.
Correct.
Okay, and at the end of his review, he says, and I'm quoting him as best as I wrote it down, subject to a CPA audit before they are adopted.
Okay.
Meaning that the financial statements aren't adopted by the board until.
The
subject-
CPA,
But he says subject to a CPA audit. Now, I'm a CPA.
okay,
Okay, I got my CPA in 1970. I worked as I was a licensed public accountant for 20 or 30 years. I worked with big 8 public accounting firms. And I was involved in many fraudulent audits, okay? And back in, when I,
So are you accusing them of fraud?
not at all, no.
oh, yeah, really?
Well,
I mean,
good
it sounds like
point.
they're doing something illegal here.
yeah, when I first went to work in public accounting, when I got out of graduate school back in 1970, one of the first audits I went to was Cosmopolitan National Bank in Chicago. And Cosmopolitan Bank was back then we had individual banks in Illinois before they went to the full banking organization where everybody got absorbed. But Cosmopolitan Bank was just an audit, and I walked in with my supervisor and manager, and they said the first thing they told me to do is they go with George, go into the treasurer's office, the vice president's office, and get the reconciliation of the bank account.
Okay.
Just a bank, like you and I do a bank reconciliation.
Right. Well, those times, yeah, it was, you had the checkbook and then you had the bank statement.
Right, and you do a reconciliation.
Right,
Now the
right.
bank has their own checkbook.
Right, now it's, everything's
Oh,
online.
okay, and yes, everything's online, and I went in to get the bank reconciliation. And I sat down and introduced myself to the guy, who was a nice guy, and I go, sir, I'm here to get the reconciliation of the general ledger to the cash account, to the bank account. Can I have it, and can you explain the items on it to me? I said, I'm a new guy, I really don't know what I'm doing. And the guy looked at me and he started crying. And I go, crying. I go, what did I do? He says, I stole $10 million and it's in the reconciliation. So this is in 1970, this guy
I guess he
confessed.
couldn't hide the $10 million.
Right, it was, when he opened up the reconciliation, here it was, $10 million cash balance of the bank.
Yeah, it was a deficit of $10 million, right?
And it was just a bank reconciliation item of $10 million. And he broke down, and I go, excuse me, sir, and I got up and left and went and got the manager and the partner, and they all came in and I left. Okay.
So you think something like that's going on here?
No, not at all. Not at all. That's not
No.
that's not what I said happened when I walked into the bank. The bank had an annual audit. Okay.
Yeah.
And simply when you review the books and records of any company,
No, I understand.
you're verifying the existence of the stuff. Now,
Right.
we're not, when I went into that bank, we were not going into the bank to look for fraud. We were going into the bank to verify the records, which is what you do for the
It
shareholders
was just
of a
his, it was
corporation.
just his luck that day.
Right.
About
I
this guy with
understand
the
that.
$10
I understand
million.
that. But as I also understand is Management Trust has a CPA that reviews
Right.
our books every month anyway.
They do, right?
They do that. We pay Management Trust
To review.
lots of money to
Right.
do different services, and that's one of their services, that they do this review by a CPA every
Right,
month.
Right.
No, they don't.
They don't?
No, they don't. An independent CPA does not look at our records every month.
No, Management Trust does.
Well,
Does it?
they keep the records.
Yeah, and what about K-Hubs? What is their part in all of
Okay,
this?
but okay, for just a moment, so there are three terms that
Okay.
we're talking about, okay?
Okay.
Okay, a CPA has 3 levels of examination of the books and records of a business. First is a compilation. A compilation is the lowest level of review. This is quoted out of David Sterling explanation of what it, a compilation is the lowest level of review. In a compilation, they simply take and put together a balance sheet, okay, and an income statement, and they put together the numbers to make sure it's formatted and looks right, okay? That's all they do. They don't investigate. They don't make an opinion.
And I think this is what we pay them to do.
The action of the CPA in reviewing the books and records of an organization. We pay Management Trust to keep the books and records, to keep our checkbook, to balance our checkbook, and to pay our bills, and then to make up the financial statements, okay? But a CPA, once a year, can come in and do something, and he can do a compilation, or he can do a review. A review of the association's government documents means that the CPA performs a limited inquiries in accordance with generally accepted auditing standards and gives limited assurance that the financial statement is materially correct.
And you're saying that we haven't done this.
No, I'm saying this is what we do.
This has been done.
Okay?
Right.
A review is done once a year.
Right, okay.
Okay? And the CPA that does the review gives a limited assurance that the financial statement is materially correct.
Right.
That's a review. And then there's an audit. It's
Okay.
the third level of examination that a CPA does.
Right.
Okay, and an audit of governing documents performs extensive examination of the association's financial records, issues a statement of their compliance with generally accepted accounting principles, auditing standards. The audit standards are described in audit. Okay, an audit provides a reasonable level of assurance that the financial statements are materially correct.
Right, I understand.
Okay.
This is the highest level.
Okay.
I mean, there's probably another higher level of, like a forensic
Yes.
audit or something like
Yes,
that.
yes, and that's looking for fraud.
Right.
Right,
Okay.
okay, but
But-
we're not there yet. We're not there.
Well, never said,
No.
no. But a reasonable level of assurance. Now, as a co-owner of the association of the books and records and all that, I'm entitled, according to our documents that say the treasurer is going to order an audit by the certified public accountant, I'm entitled to have this level of a reasonable level of insurance that the financial statements are materially correct.
Right.
Okay.
But if you go further, deeper in the CCRs, it said review, something about that. If you're over $75,000, you got to have
A review,
Okay.
yes. A
And then-
review is level 2.
two. And it
Okay.
said, if you don't do an audit, the review shall be accompanied by a certificate from an authorized officer of the association that the review was prepared from the books and records of the association without an independent audit.
Correct.
And we didn't do the audit. We got the certificate that says we did this part.
Didn't we do a 2020 audit?
No.
We didn't do the 2020
We
audit.
did a review.
We did it. And,
But
okay, so
legally, are we
why,
supposed to do an audit?
well, yeah, why didn't we do the 2020 audit?
The bylaws say, this is directly out of the bylaws,
Right,
that will cause an annual audit of the association made by a certified public accountant.
But then it says in the declarations, so if you go to the declarations, what is in the declarations? And that's the
And-
CCNRs, the,
yeah, but the bottom line is, though, why wasn't the 2020 audit done?
well,
It's never been done. We didn't
I
have
don't know.
19, we didn't have 18, we didn't have 17 or 16.
Why? Isn't that supposed to be a yearly,
Yes,
and we didn't have that?
we've never had it.
So-
We've never had an audit. We've always had an
So-
annual review.
I
so
thought,
what's the next step? Have you taken this to the police or the
Why?
Department of Justice at California State or something? Or
There's no next step. There's, I keep asking the board.
I thought they did do a 2020 audit, isn't it
Well,
on,
see, here's the statement, here's Carl's statement, okay, why do you think it? See, Carl says,
Yeah.
back on April 27th, when he sent out this
Right.
financial statement.
Right.
He says, please find the enclosed audited financial
right,
statements.
so they did do
The
it.
audit was prepared by Scott Corporation Certified. Public
Right,
Accountant.
so they did do a 2020 audit.
They didn't.
Didn't
We
it just
said they
say
did.
here, the audit was prepared by?
Well, that's what it says, okay? And here's what Scott Corporation says, okay? We have reviewed, a review is substantially less
Yes.
in scope than an audit.
Right, oh, so they didn't do the complete audit, they did a review.
I wonder if we paid for a complete audit.
No, we only paid $1,200. I mean, that's about 2 hours worth of,
So
The
one letter
CPA.
says that we did do an audit, another letter says we only did a review.
Right.
the actual report from the accountant says he did a review.
Okay,
Okay.
and Carl's letter says that we did an audit.
That's what Carl's letter says. And when Wayne talks about the monthly financial statement, as you presumed, he says they were audited by the CPA as well.
I thought they did do a 2020 audit.
This is the 2020 report from
I
the-
understand, I
from-
understand
from
what you're
the
saying.
accountant. I mean,
No, I know, but this is dated April 21, so maybe they did do the audit after April. Isn't
no,
that?
this is what they did as of the end of 2020. This is for the year 2020.
Yeah, but this is dated, okay, so this,
what it-
all right, let me understand this correctly. I could definitely, all right, so as of April 27th, 2021, this letter says that the audit, which they're referring to 2020, was
Yes.
only a review. It was not an audit. It was not a complete
Okay,
audit.
This is Carol saying it was an audit. This is the accountant saying it was only a review.
So this is really a month before this,
Well,
before Carl's.
Carl's letter sent this to us.
Okay, isn't it possible that the audit was done between March and April? between this letter and this letter?
We paid $1,300, $1,200
So it would be
for a
interesting to ask,
review.
I mean, is it terminology or is it,
Well,
you know, what,
and
did
audit-
Carl mix it up somehow?
I don't know,
Well, but see, again, I'm a CPA, okay?
Yeah, I understand your qualifications.
And when I hear this, it tells me that I have the level of insurance that,
Well, let me ask you, have you, as a homeowner, do we have a right to go to the office to First Management and ask for a copy of that audit that you claim that you did?
and they'll give you this. They have it on the website.
They do, saying that we did have an audit.
That's what this says, and
Okay.
it's part of the annual disclosure package.
Okay,
And we just got it
So what makes you think they didn't do the audit?
because what's attached to this is the next page, or the.
Yeah, but this is a month before this. So couldn't an audit be done between these two? Between March and April? That's what I'm just questioning. Listen, I'm just
No,
concerned.
in 2019, this letter is issued, same letter is issued in April of 2020, and the 2019 audit has this same basic letter attached to it as well. Now, I don't have the 18, 17, 16 because they won't give it to us.
All right,
on
so
the same page.
let me understand what you're saying. You're saying that the audit has never been done.
Never been done.
Never been done. Even though Carl of April of 2021 says it was. Scott Corporation, which is the CPA that First Management hired, of March 2021 says that it wasn't done, only review was done.
Yes,
Does it say a review, audit was not done? It says
It just says a review was done.
yeah. A review is substantially less in scope than an audit. We have reviewed.
I mean, 30 days between these two letters, couldn't an audit been done? Why would Carl, lie about something like this? I mean, or misinform us?
Well, and every month, I've heard Wayne say that the monthly financials are subject to audit before they adopt it. Mm-hmm. And nobody ever
Okay, so we
audits
definitely have
monthly financials.
questions for Chanel and for
We have questions for our board, actually.
the board, we do.
Yeah.
And if
And
the board assumes that we're being audited and we're not being audited, well, they need to step in and
Right.
say management trust.
But the problem right now with the board is that we're not in control. K-Hub isn't in control, correct?
Right, they have, yeah.
Do we still have the right to ask for this? Does the board?
we can ask for
I think
anything.
any household.
I
can
know.
ask for it.
I mean, I ask for a lot and I get nothing. But something like listen, California has statutes that I'm sure that we have to abide by.
Right.
And
Are we in
and the statute says that for an association above $75,000 in revenues, has to, at a minimum, they have the word minimum, have a review.
Right.
And if the documents request a higher level of audit, then you have an audit.
So in state law, we're in compliance with the state
We
law.
are in compliance with
Okay,
state law.
we're in
State law.
compliance,
So we're not
okay.
going to jail. No one's going to jail.
We're in, except, well,
I'm going to see them walk out with handcuffs. Who do we start with?
yeah, the vice president at that bank, that he was never put in handcuffs. And
No, they
nothing
don't.
ever
Banks don't
happened.
prosecute. They don't.
No, and
They just want their money back and walk away.
yeah. Well, they got it from the insurance, so that was it.
Yeah. No, banks
Okay,
don't
so
prosecute.
I do have to ask, reading this letter, your very last sentence says, I ask the membership to consider these failings of the board in the next election.
Yes.
I have to ask, do you have any issues or personal problems with any of the board members?
But it has nothing to do with
No, I
these
understand that,
things.
but it makes me wonder why, we have 400 people that live here.
Well, but
And there are CPAs that do live here.
And I talked to a few at the
And we
meeting.
have a financial committee as well, don't
We
we?
have a financial committee that reviews this every month. I'm just wondering.
No, stop. The financial committee is Wayne and Dot Klein, period.
No, there's other members to the
No, there
committee.
isn't.
Larry Sharp was one.
He's not now.
Well, unfortunately, he's ill, but I think it consisted more than one person, no?
Dot Klein and Wayne.
How do you call two people a committee if one of them is a board member?
And the other is the chairman, of the finance committee. That's it.
I don't
And,
know.
So I guess
when I moved
My
in,
question though to you is, do you have a personal vendetta against any of the committee members that you would bring this to our,
I sat there for 4 or 5 months at every board meeting and watched Wayne say, this is subject to a CPA audit.
So you have
before
nothing
it- Now,
against
just wait,
Wayne
wait, wait, wait.
personally?
No,
You have
no.
nothing against
Well, he just doesn't understand.
Nancy
Oh,
or
okay.
Mel.
And then in Wayne, in one of the meetings, Wayne said that there was a $10,000 adjustment to the income related to some adjustment of the interest expense. And I
I
said.
really wish Wayne was here. I really do.
And I didn't understand that, and I asked to get information about it, because if as you said, if there's an audit I'm a CPA, these are things that I understand, and they just don't make sense to me.
Okay, so let me ask you this question. Nothing to do with the audit, since you're saying that you're a CPA, so maybe you could help me understand this.
Okay.
Why we have a $30 increase in our HOA dues, and we're still running the same deficit of $200,000 when we only had we have more homeowners now. Our expenses does not increase with the more homeowners, and we still have the same deficit as we did last year. I don't know, maybe my thinking is wrong, but as a CPA, how do you make sense of that?
Okay, and I tried.
I'm sure you did.
Okay, and at the meeting, at the board meeting where we talked about the budget, Wayne explained that in 2021 budget, we're working now on the 2022, that even though we took over control of the lodge and all
Yes.
the recreational facilities
Right.
in 2020, September 2020, it became ours.
Right.
In 2021, he did not include any addition to the reserves related to the lodge. Okay, it was ours. We're supposed to every year start accumulating money to pay for a new roof, to pay for.
Yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah, of course.
Okay. And
Of course.
even though it was
Above our insurance, whatever they pay.
Yeah, well, just maintenance, okay. And in the 2022 budget,
Mm-hmm.
he includes the lodge, and the including of the lodge increased the payment into reserves by $200,000 for the year. So each year, we're putting $200,000 into reserves
So that's where our deficit of $200,000 is?
to repair and maintain the lodge. He didn't do that in 2021.
Why, because of COVID?
As he explained, he just didn't want to because we weren't using it.
But then, therefore, our expenses had to be down as well, because we weren't using it.
Correct. And when they issued the statement, okay, about the budget for 2021, here, it's right here. If you read this,
Okay.
this is the 2021 budget statement,
Okay,
and he says the board is funding $100,000 for all the reserves, rather than $300,000, which he doesn't say. And then he says the board of directors has not deferred or eliminated any repairs or replacements of any major reserve components. So Carl is telling us that 100,000 was the right number for 2021,
okay,
when in fact Carl told us that he didn't include 200,000 more.
which
Okay?
he should have done or should have not done.
He can do it, but it has to be disclosed. It has to be.
That's correct.
You know, we pay somebody to do a
So was
review.
that an incorrect thing that he did, or the correct way of thinking?
If we had had.
If we're paying now for a mistake that he had made a year before,
No, he just didn't disclose it. It's
Oh,
not a
he-
mistake.
okay.
Okay, but had we had an audit by the CPA would have said, no, you have to fix this. You either have to include 200,000 more in 2021, raise our dues for 2021, rather than 220 and a 200,000 loss, it's 220 and a 400,000 loss. Okay, and the CPA would have required you to make the proper disclosures,
You know-
which is why a
So
CPA
there are a
audit
lot
is-
of questions and stuff that we're
So-
probably not going to answer here at the table.
No, we're
It
not.
is complicated, so we
it
need
really
to
is.
get Chanel and
And
Wayne
Wayne
involved in these
To
questions.
explain all of this to us.
Right.
And again, all I'm saying is, as a retired CPA, if we had a CPA audit, then all these things should never happen.
That's correct.
Because
That's
those people are
correct.
going to tell us, you have to make the proper disclosures, you have to do the books the right
We
way.
need to find out why the audit was never done, and if
So,
it was
George, I do have
done,
to
why
ask-
wasn't it disclosed?
Right, these
And
are questions we have to ask, but George, I do have to ask, we're running out of time, but
yeah,
reading your statement here at the end, are you running for board?
Yes, I am, along with the 6 or 7 other guys that we're all working together at the meetup group. We're meeting every week at
oh,
Tuesday
we
morning.
need a woman.
Yeah. We meet every Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock at the behind the
Oh, I was
tennis
going to
courts.
ask you about that. This Tuesday, I think you opened it up for anybody that wants to show
It's
up.
always been for anybody.
Yeah,
I do want to tell people, if they're watching this, that nobody's running for a board yet. I think we were told between mid-December and mid-January, we'll be getting letters. And the actual process, if you want to run for board, you got to fill out a application form
right,
and all that stuff.
right.
So that'll be coming. So if you want to run for board, that should be coming in the next week or two with the instructions on how to run for board. Correct?
I think that's been delayed another month because of the cumulative voting rule.
Oh, right, okay.
Oh, right,
They're using
And
that.
that's what we're voting on. Well,
that's
the
what
rules
we're
state-
voting on now. It's a misconception that's going around the neighborhood that we're voting for candidates that we had no candidates for.
Right.
It is a accumulation vote where one house has 3 votes and you could put it into one
You know, and the
candidate,
interesting
which is
about
so ridiculous.
Yeah, the interesting about that is it is not going to be effective for the next election because.
Oh, it's not?
Any change in cumulative voting
Oh,
is done
God.
for the following year. So there's no reason, we could have had this vote for cumulative voting in the annual meeting right away. It could have just been vote for the board of directors, vote for me.
Well,
George.
one positive note, at least you'll get to run for the board.
Yeah.
So it's a lot to think about, and as you as homeowners, you need to do some investigation, check this out. Go ahead, go to the board meetings, ask your questions. So George, thank you so much for being on air with us today.
Fun to be here, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, George.
Thank you. I look forward to coming again.
Great.
Okay.
And bring anybody with, I'm happy to
And
talk
actually-
across the table with a group.
We will be inviting anybody who's running for board to be,
Yes,
Come
yes.
to the
Anyone who's
show.
running for the board, you're more than welcome to come here.
right.
We could definitely handle more than one person, too.
Or we could do a couple people each
We could do a
week or
couple of
something.
people,
You
and,
should have debates and put it on.
yeah, this way everybody gets to meet
As you
who,
remember, last year, or 2 years ago, I invited people to come on the show, and
Oh,
Carl
really?
told them not to come.
he has no right to say this, your
So,
private home.
We're going to open it up, and anybody who wants to come can come. So,
Yes.
thank you, George.
Good.
Thank you. Thank you, George.
Nice to see everyone.
Well, this must be the end of the show, huh?
That's December.
That's it. Well, let's wish everyone a happy Hanukkah
Merry Christmas.
and a happy, healthy New Year to every single one of you.
And really, for all the holidays that are happening right now during this time, we hope this finds you healthy, peaceful, and happy.
Without a doubt, be healthy, happy, and especially peaceful.
In our community, we're blessed to have natural-born leaders. Now, these are not elected to the board people. These are just ordinary neighbors. They're individuals that we've come to trust, admire, and respect. And you know who you are. But as a leader, you do have a responsibility. You have a responsibility to seek truth and not perpetuate rumors. Be a uniter and not create divisiveness. Your compassion and activism is invaluable to us as a community. You are better than this, and we as neighbors deserve better from you. On behalf of Shirley and Q and Gary and myself, I'm Rick Wise. Until next time, see you in India.
This has been a Wise Words production. JUNG producer, and I'm Gary Bushkin, your announcer.
Wise out.